Gratitude and the value of the present. Misery versus reality, how gratitude lifts you out of suffering. Remember, this is a reflexive essay, not a source of information, not an academic document. It's intended to promote change of perspectives and habits. Understanding misery and its impact. Gratitude is a powerful tool for generating well-being, but it can also serve as an antidote against one of the most harmful ideas in our imagination, misery. This term encapsulates two concepts simultaneously, scarcity and insufficiency. For example, if we need a kilogram of flour, 900 grams would be insufficient, but wouldn't be considered misery. In contrast, having only 10 grams is not only insufficient but represents such a small fraction that it becomes a clear example of misery. However, the real challenge doesn't lie so much in objective misery, but in our perception of it. The term miserable describes the distorted perception where we feel that it's never enough, even though we may have more than necessary. Consider misers. Their constant feeling of lack makes them appear to be miserable people, regardless of the resources they possess. The circle of dissatisfaction. In many aspects of our lives, the feeling of misery is deeply linked to the idea of always aspiring for more. We want a phone, then one with a better camera, then the latest model, and finally the pro version, even though we don't use its advanced features. This pattern extends to other areas, leading us to judge ourselves by what we lack, darkening our perception of what we actually possess. For example, I can define myself using one or two words, but there are millions of terms that describe what I am not. From this lens, it's inevitable to feel insufficient and, consequently, miserable. Re-evaluating our reality. To counter this cycle of dissatisfaction, it's essential to stop centering our life on what's missing and start valuing what we have. A useful thought to change our perspective is to analyze our situation from this point of view. If you have a roof to sleep under, a refrigerator with food, cash in your wallet and in your bank account, even with some loose change in your home, congratulations, you belong to the 11% richest people on the planet. From this perspective, do you really feel so miserable? Appreciating what we take for granted. If that still seems abstract to you, you can do a simple but revealing exercise. Select any aspect or object from your daily life and reflect on what it would be like to live without it. What would it be like to sleep on the floor without your bed? What would your life be like without your loved ones, like your partner or your children? Or how would you survive without your job that now seems routine? From this perspective of loss, we begin to value what we usually take for granted, rediscovering its true meaning and importance. Exercising gratitude in a meaningful way. Many authors suggest strengthening gratitude by listing 5 things we are grateful for. However, this exercise can become an empty activity unless we first experience, even if only imaginatively, the loss of what we value. Only then can we truly say thank you from the heart and feel genuine gratitude. Conclusion. The practice of gratitude invites us to re-evaluate our relationship with what we possess, setting aside the focus on lack and cultivating an appreciation for the present. By combining reflection on what we take for granted with the simple act of giving thanks, we can transform our perception of life and find happiness even in the most ordinary things. Remember, the power is yours.